Good day, mates. Welcome back to Punk Rock Radar. And on this episode of Punk Rock Radar, we are talking about Australian punk bands. And I'm joined today by Kyle, also known as Immortal Coil in the Discord. And that's all I can do for the voice. That's all I got.
You gotta keep going, man.
That is
Every
pretty good,
review's gotta
though.
be with a Australian
Uh,
accent. Yeah.
a lot of these listening to the chats really started affecting how I speak. I tell you that right now. So we are talking about a couple of Australian punk bands today, but not just any Australian punk bands. Kind of this scene that had kind of developed in probably like the mid 2010s, right? That's what you say.
I think that's
Probably a
like the
little,
earliest, probably, of some of these
probably the
bands.
earliest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, this style is kind of like a kind of a early punk throwback mixed in with some like garage punk, surf punk, and a lot of these bands happen to be Australian. So obviously some of them aren't, but we decided to. There was enough of them that we could actually do a tier list of them, and most of these I have never heard before, and neither have you, Kyle?
No, I've never heard. Aside from maybe two of these, I don't think I heard. I've
Yeah,
never even heard of the bands, to be honest.
yeah.
So.
So this is me just going through and trying to locate these bands that I felt like they had like a similar style. We're kind of in the same scene. We're kind of being referenced together, the same band. So, but this is me with no knowledge. So if you're like, why isn't this band here? Where is this band? Or like, why is this band even here? They're not even a punk band. All right.
Well,
There's like maybe there's two. There's like two I would be like, all right, look, if you really want to press me on, I would say all of these though are at least punk adjacent. There is like punk elements in all of this stuff. So there's a
yeah.
few of these where I'm like, all right, we're getting a little bit into like maybe like garage rock territory more than punk rock, but only like a few of these. But in real quick, if you're wondering why John or Lewis or Dylan isn't here, well, they just really had no interest in this, so we decided to put this together, me and Kyle, because we both we're at least fans of like two of the bands, or we're interested in them. So
Yeah, I'm here to do all the dirty work, basically. All the bands John doesn't enjoy.
we'll do the
I'll
men
tier list
singers.
them. Yeah.
But how is it putting this together? And then we'll get right into it. So. But how was it going through all of these? Was it like a tough tier list to put together? I thought it was very tough. This is the toughest tier list I've ever had to do because I've kind of ended up just kind of liking every single one of these.
Yeah, I would say my S and my A were the hardest to pick, and we'll get into that more later. But um, also, all these albums kind of grew on me,
Yeah.
which I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, at first I was like, I don't know even know if I want to listen to like half of this at all. And now some of them, it's like I'm probably gonna listen to these albums forever.
That's
Some of
that's
them.
that's
So
how that's how I felt. There was a few of these I was just like, oh dude, this is like kind of boring. This isn't that interesting. And then I kept going back and I'm like, oh, this kind of grew on me. This is like a fun song. This is a catchy song. So we'll go in and discuss like kind of what these bands are, and we'll start off with probably maybe the most popular. Maybe the chats are more popular. I'm really not
mm,
sure, but Emil and the Sniffers is the first one we're gonna do here. And Kyle, I'll just let you go ahead and go first and talk about Emil and the Sniffers and where are you putting them on this tier list.
sure, yeah. So I mean, I'd heard Cartoon Darkness before this one,
Yeah.
which I think is it's similar, but this album's way more like raw and like punk and like, aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think they do this thing beautifully where they kind of like have this like these fast hardcore songs, and then it turns
Hmm.
into these kind of like whimsical ballads, or like love songs, I would say.
Like Angel or something like that.
Yeah, or the Got You
Well,
song is a good
yeah.
example, I think. Um, and yeah, so I'm putting these guys in my B tier. Um,
That's crazy.
and
we
honestly, I had them in my A and my S at points, but there's just some better bands I find on this list. So
it,
I'm
it's it it's not crazy that you put them in your B tier. It's crazy because this is the only band we talked about where we were putting them, and he told me originally they were going in his S tier, and that was
yeah,
a day ago.
yeah. No, a lot of things have changed since yesterday or the day before, even that. But yeah, the other thing I want to mention about this band too is if you've never heard of Surfboard, they're essentially the American version of Emil. They have a similar aesthetic. It's a chick singer where they have this kind of larger than life presence. And I actually like looked it up afterwards, and they've toured together. And not only that, but they've been featured together in a Gucci campaign along with Lady Gaga and Johnny Rotten apparently. So
There you go.
I wasn't totally off there. I guess they actually tour together. So and they're similar thing where they're doing this hardcore style, but then they have these nice soft songs. So
Okay, okay. B tier
B
for
tier.
Immortal Coil. Guess I'll talk about Amyl and The Sniffers here. Yeah, I say, it's like a lot of aggressive, bratty energy, definitely like an early punk sound. In comparison to like what I heard, where I feel like Cartoon Darkness kind of added a little bit of kind of like 80s new wave elements to it, some of these more ballady songs. This one has a lot more just like punch after punch after punch. There is like a few like you said these slow down moments. I really like the song Angel a lot, which is a little bit more of a mid-tempo song, and I kind of wish we got a little bit more of songs like this, but like the line, I want to be your little angel, but your little angel just ain't enough. It's like in the song, it's like sung so well. It's like such a nice like punchy line.
Yeah, it's a great
And
song.
it's a good song, and I did say it doesn't stray too much from the formula on this. Like what you hear on track one is kind of what you're getting for most of the record, but it's punk, and that's never been too much of a detriment overall. So I'm gonna put this in my A tier. I think it's a solid record. I think there's a lot of energy. It's a lot of fun. Um, it went all over the place too, all in the upper echelons. It was an S, it was in B, and I decided to go right in the middle with a solid A. It was a good record. It was a good record. It was an enjoyable record, especially driving around in the car. It was like a pretty fun time. So, I was enjoying Emil and the Sniffers a good bit
Yeah,
overall.
it's I think this album's way better than any of the other stuff they've put out too. Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely like the most like punk straightforward record. So it's a good record. I feel like I've only heard like a handful of songs, and I wasn't super into Cartoon Darkness. But I mean, like, they don't need our approval. This is like one of those popular bands. People are
People
absolutely
love
loving
them.
them. Yeah, people love them, and like, good for them. Like being able to turn this sound into like a pretty successful music career. So, because yeah, I mean, this sound was not very popular until recently. You know what I mean? So,
For sure. I mean I have like even I have uncles and stuff that, aren't like into the scene, but they're telling me to check out this band.
really,
So I don't know, I find it kind of interesting. Like seems
okay.
like a lot of
Is it-
people know about them, so
All right.
yeah.
I've never heard anybody talk about him until last year. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know about him until last year, so no clue. But I did know about this next band, and we're going to be talking about the Chats, their second EP. We're doing the EP album, 8 songs, 7 songs, whatever, dude. What is this? Get This On Ya?
Get this
Yes.
in ya. In ya.
Get this in ya. Get this in ya. The Chats. I'll go first here. This is like the first of this style that I remember hearing. It was the Smoko music video was like aggressively advertised to be in the YouTube algorithm at the time.
Same, like
Yeah.
non-stop. It was just always there.
It was constantly showing up, like the chat Smoko. And I finally clicked on it, and I was expecting it not to. I don't know what I was expecting to be like an indie rock song or something like that. The band called the Chats, and it was awesome. Like it's an awesome fucking song. Smoko is a great song. It taught everybody around the world what the term Smoko meant. Also, like this is like a band where the songs that they write only like Australian punk band could write these songs. Like there's no, not just from the slang, but I think the overall kind of general vibe that they put off, this very like sarcastic, self-aware sense of humor. I feel like I've never met an unfunny Australian. I'm sure they exist somewhere over there, but they like, like this is like the sense of humor in like punk music that I really do like. It's like this simple comedic storytelling. It makes it like fun. It's very animated. It's very goofy. I mean, the also Bus Money is such a good fucking song. Just the intro lyrics to that. I spent my bus money on a six pack. Now I'm stuck in the jungle with no way back. It's like such fun like lyrics. It's very catchy. Like it has me speaking in an Australian accent for a little bit after the album ends, and so it's fun. I really like this. I think it's a great record. There's a few songs I mean on here that are like definitely not as high as Smoko and Bus Money and songs like Casualty, but it's going in my S tier. I have fun every time this comes on. Like every time the chats come on, I'm just having a good time. I'm enjoying life. They're a great band. They're very fun. And so this is my first S tier here.
First
The
S tier.
chats.
All right.
I know.
Let me
And
get
what do
this
you
put
think
up
of
here
the
for you.
chats?
Yeah,
Your turn.
so before we started this, I thought they would be in my S tier, but
Yeah,
I think as time has went on, I just I feel like the songs that feel like gimmicky or I'm just not into them the same way I was originally. Like I don't know if part of it is because the YouTube algorithm was like forcing it on me. Like I was just watching it all the time, it felt like, and I was showing people and everything. Um but I feel like as far as all these other bands go, like the songs are just more complex and like I don't know, they're just cooler styles. Where this just feels, I don't know. I'm not digging it like I used to.
it's
Um,
simple. It's got to be
it's
simple.
too simple for me. Um, so yeah, I'm actually putting them in my D tier. So
D tier? You're
yeah,
putting the
I'm
chats in
putting
the
the
D tier?
chats in the D
That's a
tier.
wild take, dude.
Yeah, I might be
No,
losing some people
it's
here.
okay. I mean, it's okay. Go for it. This will be interesting. Now I'm curious. You're curious about mine. I'm way more curious about yours now. Damn. D tier for the chats. Crazy. Absolute madness. What's this next band we're going to talk about here? Oh, the Stiff Richards and their debut record. I don't know why I picked the debut. I don't even think it's the most popular record. I think I just like the album cover. So, but go ahead and talk about the Stiff Richards.
All right, so
I'm all
yeah, this
for it.
is another band I never heard of before until this this list, but um, I feel like I liked half of it. So my favorite songs, like Brainwashed was like an awesome song. I don't know if you care too much for that one, but Brainwashed, Little Creature, and Layla I think were my favorites on it. I
Yeah,
feel like
Layla was one of my favorites, and so is Little Creature.
okay, yeah, I thought that was a good intro song. Um, the first part is like a lot faster. It feels like I don't know, they're like chugging along. Like I don't know, I was really into those songs, and then the later half kind of gets more like really rock and roll.
Yeah, like Squid Voyager, like literally
Yeah,
just sounds
like
like
I
they
was
rip
not
off
into
Led
that.
Zeppelin.
Exactly, yeah. Like I think a lot
uh,
of these bands kind of, you know, edge into that. Yeah, Led Zeppelin, like AC/DC, like you
oh
know,
yeah, definitely.
they're rocking, but just not my thing. Um, so I'm gonna actually put these guys in my C tier.
C tier.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, and you're probably wondering, yeah, you put the chats in the D tier over this band, but that
I mean,
Brainwash song, man, it's
it's
great.
fine. Like so this is the thing. The Stiff Richards are not like a bad band. Like I don't dislike any of the records that are on here. I just felt like the first time I heard it, I thought it was pretty high up on initial listen, and every time I kind of revisited the Stiff Richards, it kind of went just down in kind of quality for me. It felt a little bit stale, a little bit generic with a lot of, especially on the B side with like you said, all like the Led Zeppelin ripoff rock and roll riffs.
Yeah,
And I just wasn't like feeling it too much. There is good songs. Like the songs you mentioned, like on the A side are pretty strong. I feel like this would be like an excellent EP, but we get way too into this kind of just like sleaze rock kind of there at the end where I feel like we changed bands on them. So,
Yeah,
oh
no,
man.
I actually went and checked like a couple times. I was like, is this the same band? Like, what just happened? But
Yeah, I literally Squid Voyager, that song is like literally sounds like they stole Led Zeppelin riffs and just like I don't know, wasn't my thing at all. This is my first D tier. I'll say it's not a bad record. Like it's not like an unenjoyable listen. Like if you like, like kind of grungy rock and roll stuff on the B side. It's not like unlistenable or anything or that bad. It's just a bit stale, a bit generic, and I felt like I got a lot more out of the other bands from just like interesting styles, just kind of sounds and lyrics as well. And I felt like Stiff Richards was kind of lacking all around, but did a few good tracks. Like Little Creature is a great opener, and Brainwash is awesome, and Layla I really did like that one. So.
yeah,
Uh,
I think if you're into that kind of Led Zeppelin rock and roll style, you'll love this album. But
you'll love half of it.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
if
true.
you like more of like early punk stuff, you'll like the first half. So, but I guess we'll move on to the next band here. These New South Wales.
This is gonna be my first S tier album. Um, so when I first put this on, I was like, what is this? Like, this is just so weird. It was like kind of like gothy. I don't know. I was just like, and their accents and stuff. Like, it just threw me off at first.
Wait, you say S tier?
Yeah, S tier. This is my S
Oh.
tier. So
Nice.
so yeah, like I don't know. I feel like this band. Like I don't know if you ever seen the movie like Escape from New York.
Yeah, of
Right?
course.
Yeah, like it. I feel like if you were in you were frozen in time, and you woke up
Yeah.
in some sort of dystopian place like Escape from New York. These are the people who are going to greet you, right? And you're you're going to realize like the world has ended, and now we just have these weirdos basically running the world. Um, and,
This
and-
is the weirdest analogy for a record I've ever heard in my life.
yeah,
I
I
have
don't know.
no
There's just
clue.
like a eeriness to it. I don't know if you felt that too, but it just felt kind of evil. Um, I,
This record?
yeah, just the vibe these guys give. Um,
Huh.
and I don't know if you looked up or watched any of their videos, but I checked out a
No,
couple,
no.
and yeah, they're all like kind of gothy looking dudes.
Really?
Um,
That's interesting.
but yeah, my favorite songs though was Space and Hell, We Don't
That's a
Need
good
You
song.
Anymore, You
Yeah.
Work for Us. That Ceremony song I probably could have done without that one. It was like some weird auto tune part going on or something.
I don't know, it's like pitch corrected. It's like really high pitched like vocals.
Yeah, it's weird.
Um,
I don't know. I wasn't into
yeah.
that one, but everything else I absolutely loved, and I'll probably keep listening to this one even after this. So
Well, you better you put it in
going
the
with
S
my
tier.
yeah, my S tier.
Yeah, I mean, this is one I really did not know what to do with because I like this record. It's like a very like simplified punk style. It's like let's get rid of the power chord and just do a single note. And that bass is just chugging along. So I can see like maybe some of the gothic elements to it because that's kind of like what a lot of like goth rock and stuff like that from the early 80s did, just like these one notes like stuff like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they do that quite a bit on here. I would say the first half I felt like I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a good style, had a lot of good energy, a lot of like kind of like nasally vocals over these like single note chords. I guess it's not a chord if it's a single note, and these bass guitars and the drums were a little spastic, very punky. And then I was kind of like, I think these guys need to change it up a little bit. And then they do change it up, and I just did not like when they changed it up. I didn't like Ceremony. I didn't like Divided. And I kind of felt like the song Are You Off It was a little annoying, actually. But after that, they do pick it up. But it's like three tracks in a row that I wasn't like a huge fan of. But like obviously there's some great tracks on here. I think it's like a good record. Like We Don't Need You Anymore. Like you say, Cholesterol Heart is one of the best songs on the entire bracket, like I think, or the entire tier list. And Police State was like a lot pretty hardcore track. So it's a lot of fun.
Hmm.
It's just I don't know. Something about it wasn't clicking after on a re-listen, and this is gonna be my other D tier.
D tier. All right, all right.
So you have one of my S tiers in your D tier, and I have one of your S tiers in the D tier. But like I
Yeah.
said, I do want to say none of these are bad records. Like I can understand somebody putting this in your S tier, so I cannot understand putting the chats in the D tier, at least C tier, but for the chats. But it is going in. I feel like it's not. It's better than the Stiff Richards. Like definitely. I do want to say that. Like it's a better record than the Stiff Richards. It kind of hurt to put it in the D
In the
tier
D tier.
there. So,
Yeah. I hear you.
but we'll go ahead and get this next record ready, and I believe it is the Pist Idiots Idiocracy. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay, I'll start us off with the Pist Idiots here. And this is one that grew on me. This was a grower for me. When I first listened to this, I did not really like it. I thought it was a little too simplistic. I thought it was some of the ballads were kind of boring. They also have a 7-minute track on here, which is "Light Up Your World," which is
Yeah.
a big skip. I will say that it's a big skip. So, like I listened through it once and I can't do it again. So, but to me, this they kind of have like this garage punk version of the U.S. Bombs vibe to them. Like it's some gruff working class energy behind some of these songs. Like Dead Shit is like a great like punk track. One of the more ballady tracks, She Yells Jack, I actually ended up really liking. The song Screw has like these what is it called, like organ piano behind
Yeah,
it,
the
really
piano
made me think.
intro. Oh man, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and Blood Out of the Sandstone was like a great track. So there's some really good stuff on here. But like I said, some songs, especially the ballady ones, really kind of overstay their welcome. Like that 7 minute like ballad track, which is "Light Up Your World," is a skip. It's a skip, dude. It's very boring. It goes on for way too long. And
Yeah.
there's some long songs in here that I really like, but I can't do that one. This one, I kind of wanted to put it higher, but it's going in my C tier. But I think it was in my D tier originally, so it bumped up. So
Okay, went up to your CA.
yeah, so Pissed Idiots going into the C. But yeah, what did you think of the Pissed Idiots?
All right, so I thought they were awesome, to be honest.
Yeah,
They reminded me a lot of the Swingin' Utters in ways,
yeah,
especially like the newer Utter sound, right?
yeah,
Like that piano part, um, just the folkiness of some of these songs. I'm hearing a lot of Utters. It's like it reminds me of the Utters kind of mixed with like the Pixies or the Breeders. They have like
yeah. I can see
they
that.
have like these slow bass intro parts, like in Swill's like a good example. I think of that
Oh yeah.
sound. Um, but yeah, like it took a little while to get into it,
Yes.
and now I absolutely love it. And I watched some of their videos too, and like I don't know, it just I don't know, just seems really cool what they're doing there. Um, and I have to just call out the singer, like his voice.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, like, and he sounds like he should be like in a mob movie or something, like an
Well, that's what I'm
Australian
saying.
mob
It
movie.
kind of it kind of has like that working class oi punk vibe to it.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a good mixture of like street punk and then like
kind
acoustic
of
stuff.
garage rock and like acoustic ballads. It's a good mix.
Yeah.
I kind of yeah. So I wanted to put it a little higher, but I'm keeping it in the C tier for right now because there was one more that's very similar to this that I think I like a little bit more.
What did you think of
So
the Juliet song? That's kind of like the hit I think off the album.
oh, is it? I liked it. I thought it was a good song.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
so
really liked it a lot too.
where are you
Um,
putting these
so
guys?
yeah, I'm gonna put these guys in my B tier.
B tier.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair. That's a good B tier. I approve of that B tier.
you approve of that?
So
Okay.
so, but I believe let's move on to the next band here, which is going to be a band called Skirt Casino. What do you think of it, Kyle?
All right. So at first I thought this was gonna be really good, but I feel like a lot of the songs kind of like were drawn out. It was like a lot of like repetitive parts. But there's
Mm-hmm.
two specific songs on here that like make up for everything, and that's Pretty and Tissue. Those are like some of the two best like punk songs I've ever heard. Um, so yeah, I really like those two songs. Unfortunately, the rest of the album's kind of slower. Just I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna put these guys in my C tier, my second C tier.
Second C tier. What is going to be this final D tier? I can only imagine. So, yeah, I honestly like this more than the Pist Idiot. I was a pretty big fan of Miniskirt.
Oh,
To
okay.
me, yeah, like the style, it's like to me, the first track, Pressure, it has like elements of like the Buzzcocks mixed with, like I said, like kind of like the Pist Idiot. It's like working class oi punk. It's like a really unique style. There's some cool like rock and roll riffs, rough, gruff vocals, just like the Pist Idiots as well. A bit similar in a lot of ways, but I think there is some like you said, some just excellent fucking punk tracks in here. And I think With Your Hands is also like an absolute banger. Face of the Future, I thought went on for a little bit too long. It's not my favorite track, but it has a great lyric in it, which is like, I'm not a fence sitter when the fence that divides is too high to climb. And there's like really just like a lot of fun lyrics like that. Um, and the final track, Animals, is like 6 minutes long, and yeah, it drags on and stuff like that. But I feel like it's a really good build up, where it's just we're animals, animals, and then by the end he's just fucking screaming it like straight up. And I thought this was a super solid record, and I'm gonna drop this in my B tier. So I really liked Miniskirt. Thought this was definitely made me like curious to check out more stuff by them. So, but it's close. Like the Pissed Idiots and Miniskirts are like neck and neck. I like both of them like quite a bit. So Pissed Idiots could be in the B tier, but I'm gonna stick with Miniskirt for now. So
All right, so that's your first B.
that is right. And what is our next band here? Which is gonna be DZ Deathrays Bloody Lovely. All right, so DZ Deathrays, Bloody Lovely. I'll start us off with this one. I love this record, dude. This record is so awesome. I like was not sure what to even expect from this. It's kind of like an early a mix of like early Cage the Elephant and like elements of surf punk in here as well. Some of the songs definitely are just kind of getting into like almost like a garage rock one. And this is one of the bands where if someone really wanted to push back on me and be like, well, DZ Death Rays isn't really a punk band, but I feel like there's a lot of punk energy in these songs. Like Total Meltdown is an absolute banger. Feeling Good, Feeling Great. Bad Influence is just straight up a punk song, and Back and Forth has like these hardcore screams in it. Like there's such a good mix of like style. There's like some kind of like more slower kind of garage rock, surf rock, kind of wavy songs in there. Then there's like these really catchy like pop tracks, and then there's like songs like I said, Back and Forth, where it's just like these screaming like hardcore vocals, like really grungy, thick sounding guitar. Like the record sounds great. I think it's one of the best like mixed and produced records on here, and this is definitely going in my S tier. Like this is a great record.
S
So
tier. All right.
I'm wondering if this is going to be your other S tier now that you have these New South Wales up there. I'm curious. He's going to drop these guys in the D tier. You just watch. Yeah, drop them in the D tier, and I'm going to feel like a jackass. So where are you putting DZ Death Rays, Kyle? Do you like him as much as me?
Okay, yeah. So when I first listened to this, I was like, I absolutely hate it. Like that Shred for Summer song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not into it. I couldn't get into it even still. But I absolutely love this record. I'm putting it in my A tier.
Okay.
Um, Total Meltdown, Like People, Back and Forth. Those are all like amazing songs. Um, I would describe this as like dance punk. I think people consider this style.
Oh, is it? I can see that. It's
Uh,
very bouncy at times.
yeah,
So
like you can play it at a party, right? People are having a good
this,
time with this
this
going
would be
on.
great live. Like this is like one of the bands I'd be the most excited to see live out
Yeah,
of all of these.
for sure. They're also kind of they remind me a little bit of like Fiddler.
Yes,
The
Fiddler.
later
I think
records, right? Like,
Yeah, fiddler, early Cage the Elephant, and stuff like that. Kind of like the vocals, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, no, all around, I really enjoyed this afterwards, and I think I'll have a few of these songs probably on playlists and stuff for like the summer. It just
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's like feel good songs.
It's
Um,
feel good. It's very dynamic too. Like there's so much like going on in a lot of these songs, but at the same time, it's like very simple. Like they're very simple guitar riffs. It's we're just kind of doing bass snare drumming and simple bass, but it feels very dynamic. It feels very like chaotic at times, but it's great. This is a great record. So I'm glad she liked it as well. And slapped it up there in the A tier.
yeah, and I
So
actually I checked out one of their music videos because I was curious to see what these guys look like. And it was like this old man at first, and I was like, "There's no way this is the old man." But I looked it up, and I don't know if you're a fan of the Wiggles, the kids show.
okay.
That was a little bit later than when I was a kid, but it's the main guy, I guess, from the Wiggles is the old man in the music video. So
They
uh,
got the main guy from the Wiggles for the music video. What a
yeah,
snag
yeah,
there,
yeah.
man.
So these guys are big time. So
They got a big time celebrity up in
yeah,
their music video. So the old guy from the Wiggles. I guess he was a young guy back then in the Wiggles. So I've never listened to the Wiggles. I've heard the name, so I know it's like a kid show, like the
yeah.
Banana Splits, but without the costumes. I have no clue.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I never watched it either, but
Oh yeah, yeah, he's
fun
saying
little
that, but
fact
he
there.
he used to watch it all the time as like
Yeah.
a teenager.
I had a little cousin who was obsessed with it actually, but
Oh yeah, okay, okay. So he has seen it. So
I've seen bits and pieces. I mean, I don't
yeah,
memorize all the
full
songs.
episodes. All right.
But yeah, let me
Well,
get this up here and
yeah, go ahead, and then we'll move on to private function. Hello, asshole, or if you're just looking at the record, a bunch of numbers. So, all right, private function. Hello, asshole. Kyle, what did you think of this record?
all right. So this one I actually was familiar with,
Record of the
because it's
week.
part of
Record of
our
the week.
record of the week. So yeah, if you guys don't know, we have a Discord where we have a record of the week. You could join and join in the fun.
Link
Um,
down below.
Link down below. Yeah. And yeah, so when we did this for record of the week, I think I liked it a lot more at the time. But revisiting it, I feel like there's only a handful of songs I really like. I feel like it's such a mixed bag where it's kind of like you were saying with the Stiff Richards, where it feels like a different band sometimes. It's like there's like different vocalists or something going on.
Yeah,
Um,
there's like three different vocalists, I swear. Yeah.
there is, right? Like there's got to be, yeah. So I love Cease and Destroy, Time for the Urn, Downright Dangerous, all the kind of more like hardcore punk songs.
Hmm.
But General Misdemeanor, um, the Coldplay cover of Yellow, I don't know why they needed that on there. Just, I mean, I don't really like Coldplay in general, but yeah, I don't know. I think those just kind of take away from the album, but yeah, I'm putting these guys in my D tier. I honestly don't think I'm gonna go back to this one too much.
Okay. D tier for private function. I think I'm the opposite now because I feel like I actually like this more than when I did for record of the week. Like I think I gave it
Oh
like a
yeah?
6 out of I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10 for record of the week. And going back to this, maybe it's just because I'm driving a lot. This is great fucking driving music. So and getting stuck in traffic listening to private function, but I honestly thought it was a lot of fun going back to it, and I thought it's a lot better than I remember. Like I thought, the dynamicness of having all these different singers is actually kind of a charm to it, where you almost have like three different like styles. You've got like the hardcore punk vocalist, right? You kind of got like more of like the early punk, kind of like goofy vocals, almost similar to like the Toy Dolls, but not obviously as high pitched as them, but that kind of cartooniness to it with some of the songs on here. And then you have some more of like these like mellow, more kind of like sing along songs as well. But I thought all the switch ups were really fun. Definitely like the first track is really good. I'm this far away from being the worst person you've ever met. A good fight, good night with like I think I can't remember if it's the starting lyrics or at some point in it
Good
he's just
fight.
like I don't like violence. I love it. I don't know why. It's like a
Yeah, that's a great line. Yeah, that one stood out to me too, actually.
This is I don't like violence, I love it. And Seize and Destroy is like a borderline like a thrash song. So I felt like all of the different styles was actually something that kept this record really fresh to me. And I'm gonna drop Private Function Hello Asshole in my A tier actually.
In your A tier,
So
okay, yeah.
my A
You know what? The more you're talking about it, you're kind of making me rethink my pick here. But
it don't hey man, we're locked in. So
yeah, I'm sticking with it for now. But
yeah, no mulligans this time, all right? So it's okay. I feel kind of like bad having these New South Wales down in the D tier because I feel like the Stiff Richards is the weakest record on here to me personally. So I do like these New South Wales. It's not a bad record by any means, but
yeah,
um oh you already got it up here. All right. We've got Drunk Mom's Beer Baby. Another record of the week here. So
back to
I'll start
back.
us off. Yeah, I'll start us off with this. Um, it is. I have fun with this record too. Like I think it's like a very fun kind of like simple garage rock kind of punk rock record here. The New Australia is a great track. What else I hear? Slipping Up, Bet on Black, Saturday. Not My Dad is like one of my favorite songs. Probably one of the more like hard songs on here, but it's really fun. So it has a lot of like fun energy to it, but I felt like it's like a little the samey where everything kind of like bleeds together a little bit. And I kind of like can't remember which tracks are which sometimes, but there's definitely like a few standouts, and I think it's like a solid record. And I'm gonna put it in my C tier, but it's like not a bad. It's like none of these are really bad records. It feels kind of bad even putting it in the C tier, but
Yeah,
um,
that's the
it
hardest
just
part.
doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't do as much for me as a lot of these other ones do. Especially we're talking about like energy levels here. So, and what are you doing with Drunk Mom's Beer Baby, Kyle?
All right, so yeah, I really liked this one. I feel like they're like a mix of the Clash and the Ramones. It reminds me of a lot of early Clash, like the guitar solos and the riffing.
Mm-hmm.
And I even feel like the vocalist at points he sounds sort of like Joe Strummer, especially in
I can see
like the
that.
New Australia. I don't know if it's just the accent, but I mean all these bands had accents, and this is the only one where I felt that way. So I don't think it's just that. Um, but yeah, New Australia. Saturday's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
The Apocalypse, right? That Apocalypse Baby. Love that line. Um, and it's funny you brought up Not My Dad. I was wondering like do you think this is any way a reference to the Frenzel romp song There's Your Dad? Cuz they're saying like there's your dad and he's saying that's not my dad. I don't know.
I, I'm not sure if the drunk moms are referencing the Frenzel Rom song "Dad." There's your dad. There's your dad. Yeah, there's your dad. There's your dad. Is he looking rad or something like that, or he's looking
Yeah.
sad?
He's looking sad, yeah.
He's
why
looking
why don't you
sad.
go and talk to him? You-
He's looking sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much these guys like know of Frenzel Rom. I feel like they have to. Like, if you're like a punk band in Australia, I don't know. Sometimes you get surprised by stuff like that, but like maybe no one knows Frenzel Rom, but
I think a lot of
I'd be
people
curious.
well obviously in Australia they're huge, they're from there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you knew this, but like the two members of Frenzel also host like one of the biggest radio shows there.
Yes,
So
I
I,
do know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they got to be within their kind of zeitgeist
Definitely,
in
definitely.
Australia. But regardless, enough Frenzel talk. I'm putting this in my A tier.
Okay.
I even after record of the week, I listen to this a bunch. I still put it on every once in a while. So um, yeah, I think it warrants an A tier.
I was too harsh on this too because I think I put it in like the D tier of the record of the week tier list, and like going back to it, I had a lot more fun with it after I went through it a couple times. So it definitely grew on me. It's a fun record. So, but let's go ahead and move on to the last band here, which is going to be Dune Rats, and the album is "The Kids Will Know It's Bullshit." So so Dune Rats, Kyle, looks like they're going in your S tier. Go ahead and talk about them.
So this is my favorite band out of all of these.
Hmm.
I remember around the time this came out. I don't know exactly how I found out about it, but um, as soon as I heard it, I loved all these songs. Like to me, this is like a 10 album. I don't skip any of these songs. Bullshit, Buzzkill, Scott Green, Six Pack, all amazing songs. Um, Once again, this band reminds me a lot of Fiddler or
Hmm.
Waves. And
Definitely.
I never knew this until we did this, and I did a little bit of research. But the singer of Fiddler actually produced this album and co-wrote the
Oh,
songs. So
that makes sense. That makes a
this
lot
makes
of
a
sense.
lot of sense. And
Damn.
yeah, so his name is Zach Harper, and it mentions in their wiki like they had to beg the record label to let them have him be part of it because they basically said it would be a giant waste of money. But they became friends, I guess, touring,
Yeah.
and that's how they got together. But yeah, it's a similar kind of like party vibe,
Hmm.
the surf kind of punk.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so obviously this is going to my S tier. It's my last spot. Um, One other kind of interesting thing I thought was kind of funny is the name of the album. So I don't really listen to this band much, but they're called the Dandy Warhols. They're
Yeah.
more like an
Okay.
alt rock kind of band. So I guess they were on tour with the Dune Rats, and they gave him some advice backstage, and they said like, if you don't write your own music, the kids will know it's bullshit, and that's where the title of this album comes from.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so yeah,
There you
everyone
go.
check this one out. I love this
A
album.
lot of a lot of background lore for the Dune Rats here.
Yeah,
So
who knew?
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a solid record. It's a really fun record. The intro track "Don't Talk" is great. Six Pack really makes me like think of like when I was growing up. My brother bought us a six pack. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's about like getting a six pack and drinking in the basement with a couple of your friends. It made me think of my grandfather. Rest in peace. A couple Hail Marys for the Italian Catholic there. He used to just leave 12 packs in his trunk when I was like underage, and we'd go over there and pick it up and, and take it to my cousin's basement and drink and stuff. And it definitely like has a lot of fun energy to it. A little bit to me, the fiddler thing I definitely thought about, and I kind of felt like this album was just like not as good as like the fiddler debut. It very similar
I
to the
agree
first
a
fiddler
hundred
record.
percent on that comment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's almost like baby's first fiddler a little bit, and some of the songs I felt kind of went in one ear and out the other, but the songs that were really good, like they're really good. Like I felt like Scott Green was like such a great song. I think it's one of the more popular ones on there. Like Before was really fun. A few of the B sides I thought weren't all that great, but I I feel like the later Dune Rat records I do like a little more. Even the new one that came out this year, I'd have to revisit it. But I really like that. I liked it because they had a lot more style changes. Did you listen to that one? If it sucks, turn it up.
I did actually. I remember when John posted it in the Discord. I checked it out right
Mm.
away. I actually never even listened to the other two albums. I didn't realize they had other ones. I'm just
Oh
in love with
yeah,
this one.
yeah.
But
It's like something real. Oh my, I can't even say it. Real rare whale, I think is one of them, and then I forget the other one. It has like a hamster
was it
wheel
like
on
a
it. I think
rat?
like that.
Yeah,
Hurry
yeah.
up and wait. Hurry up and wait. Yeah,
Okay,
they have.
yeah.
I feel like I do like those a little more. Like I feel like they're fleshed out a little bit more than this. But this is like super fun if you really just want that kind of like fiddler style like surf party punk, and this is definitely like a fun record to put on. So it's going in my B tier, but honestly if I could shove it up in the A tier I could, but this is the name of the game. And this was one of the hardest tier lists I've ever had to do, because I felt like there was enjoyable parts of every single one of these records, and we had a lot of time to do this, so a lot of these really grew on me. Like records I thought I was just gonna throw in the D tier and forget about and never listen to again. I liked like I like even though they're in the C tier, like I'm gonna revisit the Pist Idiots record. You know, I'm gonna revisit the Drunk Moms record. It basically the Stiff Richards I probably forget about, but even these New South Wales, like I'll probably listen to them again at some point or check out another one of their records. But how was it putting this together, and are you satisfied with your rankings here,
Yeah,
Kyle?
I echo a lot of those same thoughts. I originally thought my hardest part was going to be picking what I was going to put in the C and the D tier because
Yeah,
I didn't think a lot of it was that good at first. So it just goes to show you gotta kind of give things a chance. You gotta listen to it a
three.
few times, right?
I'm telling you, at least three times sometimes, dude. Like sometimes records that I'm like, I was like Tiger Army's Ghost Tigers Rise, Tiger Army 3. When I
Oh,
first
that's a
heard
great
it,
album.
I hated it. Like I hated
Oh
it.
wow.
And then yeah, like I thought it was a horrible record. I thought it was really boring. I was like, where are like the fast songs? Where is like the really stuff? It's become like my favorite Tiger Army record.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's a great album.
uh,
I mean I've done that with so many bands. Flatliners,
yeah.
for example, right? When Great Awake came out, I was like, what happened? Where's the ska? Um, but
Yeah.
now that's like one of my favorite Flatliner albums too. So yeah, and I would say too here, like my A and my B tier are pretty much equal.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like
they're all
that.
pretty
Yeah.
close.
So
So yeah, no, this is a lot of fun checking out these Aussie punk bands. It's a scene I never really heard of or knew about. Um,
yeah, a lot
yeah,
of stuff gets really popular too. So, you know, like good on like the Chats and Emil and a lot of these bands who are like, you know, I'm pretty sure DZ Deathrays even like opened up for like the Foo Fighters
yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point.
I saw that actually. Yeah,
Yeah, so like good for these bands making a lot of headway and reinventing kind of like like, you know, early 70s punk and adding a lot of elements that honestly some of these I prefer to 70s punk.
yeah, for
Uh
sure, for sure.
but yeah, that's going to wrap it up here, guys. So thank you for watching. And don't forget to like the video, leave a comment down below. It really does help the channel. And also don't forget to check out punkrockradar.limitedrun.com. The link is down below. You don't have to type all that in. John, who runs the channel, who's you know, graciously allowing us to talk about bands he doesn't give a fuck about, selling all sorts of records. If you like, kind of like orgcore, pop punk, skate punk, uh, all of those types of genres are going to be on there, like Rain Check, Modern Shake, some great small independent bands that you can go support there. Of course, we've got the hoodie, we've got t-shirts, there's cassettes, and John always throws in extra stickers and all sorts of goodies. So, and also thanks Immortal Coil for putting this together because I never have time to do it. I'm working all the time. So,
Yeah,
uh, a little bit of editing, a little bit of hiccups, so you guys won't see any of this will be edited out, but we're
even
gonna get
that we're
better
gonna
at
edit
this.
that out.
We're,
That's out.
we're not even gonna mention it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you guys, and peace out.
All right, thanks. See ya.